Okay, as I'm going to go through this, I'm going to start so that we're at the family of Imran. But we'll start at ayah number 7, and we're going to go down. There's a lot to describe here, and my thoughts on this. So let's have some fun. Let's have some fun. One thing about the Quran that I'm noticing is it seems to just be like a book of guidance for all people, right? It's like, I don't know, man. Like you don't have to be in a religion. I've been thinking about this thought before I go in there. What do you guys think? You don't have to be in a religion to enjoy the benefits of the guidance of that religion. So obviously, like, in order to be Muslim, you have to at least like recognize that the Quran comes from God, right? That's fair. And I think the reason why is because sometimes the Quran seems so extreme in its thoughts, and extreme is a weird word because extreme in comparison to what, right? So if you look at the way culture usually formulates, the way culture usually builds, if you look at like Rome is really similar to the United States, or the Western world, or if you look at like the stories of a pharaoh, it's like how power corrupts itself absolutely, which is what's happening in the States and what's happening in Rome and what's happening in England and so on and so on and so forth, right? So the Quran seems to be a book that lets you know that just because you're rich, just because you're powerful, doesn't mean you're the absolute. The Romans used to say, the strong do what they can, the weak do what they must. The strong do what they want, essentially, and the weak do what they must. And Jesus came and said that the lion and the lamb shall lie together. Now, what does this mean? Before we go into the Quran, what does this mean? I always thought about this. It's just that all people are equal under God. And this is the one of the biggest formats that I got in the Quran. The Quran seems to be the absolute authority on this. Why? Because even the Christians will say that there's one man that's above other people, right? I mean, the Christians will say that Jesus is the Son of God. I find that problematic only because I think that when you start making one person better than anybody else, like this person, the Son of God, then you can weaponize that thing. So when I was in South America, when I was in Colombia, you'd see a lot of Colombians with a picture of like an Italian-looking guy, like a Northern German Italian-looking guy named Jesus on their pictures. And I wonder like how much the colonialists have used that as a way to manipulate people into thinking that the white man is God, or the white man, you should listen to the white guy. And I know that the Europeans really used Christianity for slavery. With that being said, obviously Christianity, it's a good religion. It's a great religion. And there's a lot of people, and the reason why slavery was abolished, probably because of the idea that all men are created equal under God. So we have certain rights and privileges, and all those rights, for example, in the States, which I believe is like the right to free speech and the right to protect yourself, really comes from the ability that your rights to self-defense and self-determination come from God and come from nobody else. I like these ideas. And as I delve, I love that word, delve. As I delve into the Quran, I found that actually it tells you that you're only better than somebody else in regards to your character. There is no, if you look at the Prophet Muhammad's, I think it's his last sermon before he passed, before he returned to God. He said that an Arab is not better than a non-Arab, and a white's not better than a black, and a black's not better than a white, and an Arab's not better than a non-Arab, and a non-Arab's better than an Arab. If I'm wrong in that quoting, please correct me. I'll open forum here. However, the basic idea is really simple, is that we should treat each other equally, and everybody has the rights. Everybody has certain rights. Those rights do not come from the government, actually. Those rights come from God. And one of the reasons why I believe in North America they don't want you to believe in God is because they want you to feel like they're the God. The phone is getting too hot in the sun, so it cut off. So hopefully you guys can still hear me. But the basic idea that we all come from God, and therefore we're all equal under God. So without further ado, let me get into this, into these verses. So see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.